Hello, Jimmy Carter, the American president from 1976 to 1980, was born on the 1st of October 1924 and died just a few months after his 100th birthday. And you wonder how he felt looking back over his long career. I am sure he could mark out some failures. The most obvious one of his presidency was when some American hostages were captured in Tehran, but his attempt to get them freed completely failed. And I'm sure he would also look back at some successes. The arms treaty that he negotiated with Russia has stood the test of time and kept nuclear weapons out of use ever since. But other things are less obvious. Some things that he did, we look back now and we can see that they were really significant. For example, he was the first person really to try and deal with the climate crisis. He tried to deal with the American use of so much petrol, and how they dealt with toxic waste, symbolised perhaps by putting solar panels on the White House, which Ronald Reagan, who succeeded him, promptly removed. So an issue there of being right, although it didn't seem so at the time. And there are other things like the relationship with China, which he promoted. He was the first American president to recognize the People's Republic of China uh, uh, as a nation with whom they could do business. And of course, that led to a fairly stable global economy for many years. But now it's beginning to fall apart. And similarly with the Middle East, he uh, paid a visit long after his presidency ended to Israel in 2015, when he said that he thought Hamas was not a terrorist organisation but were committed to peace, although he recognised that some of the things they did were violent and unproductive. We shall see, won't we, whether actually it would have been better to negotiate with Hamas than to try to wipe them out. But it'll be a long time, I think, before we discover the answer to that question. So, as he looks back over his life, there are some things he can mark down as definite failures, other things which are obvious successes, other things which he was right at the time but people didn't realise it, and other things which still have to be left up in the air to know whether he made the right decision, the right call or not. And I think as we look back over our own lives, it's a reminder how important it is not to immediately worry if something seems to be a failure. It might be, but it might not be. And I think sometimes we judge ourselves too quickly and too harshly about things that we've done, things that may well work out better than we had thought initially. Decisions that we make that might, first of all, have seemed to be the wrong ones, that might, in the end, turn out to have been the right ones. I think we need to hold a little bit loosely to judgments we make about the effects of our own decisions and our own behaviour. Give ourselves a little bit of a breather to recognise that perhaps some of the things that we thought were good won't be. Some of the things that we thought didn't go well perhaps will prove to have been fruitful, and generally to allow ourselves the freedom of waiting to see how our lives pan out without being too judgmental about the things we've done and the decisions that we've made.